Right, today we're dremelling Legends nails. Good boy, Ledge, good. So what I do is start with the underneath. I've already done that one just a couple of times. Okay, so we do the underneath and you do it very quickly and then off. Little snippets because it warms up very quickly, okay? So we don't want to overheat the nail and cause the puppy to be distressed. So now, if you can see under there, you've got the centre section is quite dark, and then it's harder to see. But you have got a centre bit which is soft, okay, and that's the skin and the quick, and then you've got a shell around the outside. So now we're going to have a go at the shell. So we're not just taking it that way. What we're doing is taking from the top. So we're aiming to get closer to the quick because the quick comes out towards the top. Alright. So you just keep doing little bits, pause in between, little bits, pause in between. You can't get to that angle, you go from that side. And what you will see, as you get lower and lower, you will eventually see a dark bit. Now, the younger the puppy is, the more sensitive and soft the shell is and the skin. So you need to have your Dremel as slow as you can, so that it's not going too fast and heating everything up, which would be hard for the puppy. Now that's all I'm going to take off that dew claw, but that's all down to very soft. You can see it's sort of fibrous almost there. The quick is just under there. I know exactly where it is. I'm not going to go any lower because he's being such a good boy. I'll do another nail now. It's easier to tell on the more normal shaped nails. So again, we start from the underneath and I go right down to the pad as low as I can. At first you'll have just a lot of dirt and stuff there if they're digging around in the dirt. Okay, so you can see that there's different colours underneath there. You've got the centre, little section just around that, and then the shell. So closer to the centre is more sensitive. And it's good to do the underneath. Some people don't do the underneath, and that's fine. But if you do the underneath, you can see what you're doing when you take the top off and how much to take off the top. So I can already see that there's at least 2.5 mil that can come off that. So away we go. That was about 1 mil in that first stroke. Now I'm past the bit where I can be quite rough because I'm already down to the sensitive area. So now I slow down a bit, just take little bits. You can see that shiny bit under there, that's the first centre core. That's quite sensitive. You're a very good boy. Okay, so I'm giving it a nice 2-second break or so in between each stroke. Okay, so I'm right down there now. Don't want to go too much lower than that because he's being very good and we're pretty close to the quick. You can see that that's getting a little bit darker there. Alright, so that's another one. I'll show you another nail from scratch. Underneath. What a good boy. You are a very good boy. Yes, you are. And you'll find that it's harder doing the nails closer to the face because it's more intimidating for the dog. You see the different textures there underneath. Now I can see a good 2 mil can come off that one. There goes a mil. There's another mil. I took a nice big slice then. Good boy, let it cool down. And I'm taking a little bit off each time as I sort of neaten at the same time. So the idea is if you're taking across off the top, that's getting closer to the quick and that will prevent it, keep the quick from coming forward. It will slow it down or make it recede. And there you can see that dark colour coming through. Right, so I've got that back again quite a lot. Good boy, you're such a good man. I'll do one more. Good boy. Good. Right, underneath. And there is nothing to be scared of. This puppy, no, good boy, good boy. Puppy's had his nails dremelled probably, I don't know, maybe 5 times. The first couple of times they're quite resistant, and it will take you 2 people because you'll need somebody to hold, and you should always start with the back ones first. Start with the back ones, have the person sitting up the front, feeding the puppy and keeping it calm. And this is actually the very first time that I've dremelled this puppy's nails without somebody holding him. And that's actually why I'm starting at the front, because if I start at the back, the front would wriggle a little bit too much. And I've lost my holder because he's holding the video instead. Alright. There we go. Now, if I did happen to get the quick and you saw a little dot of blood, it's not the end of the world. It's no big deal. I get it quite often. It would be, it's more unusual for me to not get at least 1 quick in, you know, doing, say, 2 dogs. And that's because I keep going back and back and back. The rawer you have it, the more chance there is of it staying nice and short whilst the dog is moving around on the concrete, and I am going to do the last one. Sorry, man. Okay, so that got a little bit warm for him. That was my own fault, but he dealt with it. It's not the end of the world. He let me know that it was a bit warm. Good boy. Very good boy. Such a good boy. And I know how long to wait in between files because I had artificial nails or acrylic nails for years, over 10 years. And I know the feeling of when it gets hot and then as it cools down. So it takes a minute, or it takes a couple of seconds for them to feel the heat, and then it takes another couple of seconds for it to dissipate. So if you give a break in between, and you can see how it's getting just dark there on that side, you can see, if you look at all that fibre, see the fibrous tissue, that's all soft tissue, so it's really starting to get down to the sensitive area, and that is what you want. Alright, so that is a set of nails done lovely and short. If you look from the top, and yes, this dog isn't standing, but well, the 2 centre ones, you can barely see them at all unless I push them down. The outside ones are often a little bit longer because of the way they stand. So that is, you know, and you should be able to do the dew claw almost away to nothing. Okay, thanks guys. That's great.